On special assignment beyond disturbing. A sexually charged trophy room discovered inside an old New Mexico church. What the Virgin Galactic spaceship crash could mean for the spaceport. And a second night of searching for 10-year-old Alexandra Greenwald. We'll get to all those stories in just a bit, but first, the feds announced the big changes coming to the Albuquerque Police Department.
We have team coverage. We start off tonight with News 13's Lizzie Mitri live at APD headquarters. Lizzie?
Dean, Jessica, this comes 6 months after a DOJ report outlined a pattern of Albuquerque police officers violating people's constitutional rights, often using guns or tasers when it wasn't necessary.
We now stand here to write the next chapter of the Albuquerque Police Department.
The feds, the mayor, and the chief announced a 106-page plan to reform the Albuquerque Police Department. The main goal is to prevent unnecessary force following a wave of deadly shootings. The agreement makes it clear officers need to use warnings first and give suspects time to surrender before using force. APD is expected to retrain its officers and fix its warning system that tracks cops who repeatedly use force.
Officers are not afraid of greater accountability for using force, but that they do have serious concerns with perceptions that the disciplinary system is inconsistent and arbitrary.
APD has to crack down on officers who don't turn on their cameras and come up with an internal affairs unit that punishes cops who cross the line.
We are all committed to promoting effective constitutional policing.
Finally, the agreement eliminates one of APD's special units that's supposed to target the city's most violent repeat offenders. Despite agreeing on changes to improve the department, the feds make it clear in the agreement that the city still doesn't believe all the DOJ's allegations against APD are accurate. What allegations don't you agree with, and why then are you making changes?
We had to reserve our rights to not agree with everything. But we simply said, the findings letter is out. We all agree that we want to put reforms, additional reforms into place. We want to move forward, and that's why we find ourselves here today.
The Department of Justice says today's agreement is a result of interviewing almost 700 people, taking in more than 1,000 emails, and of course talking to dozens of officers. Back to you.
All right, Lizzie, thank you. The first order of business for the city and the feds is choosing a monitor, the person who is going to make sure that things are done on schedule and done right. For instance, the monitor will double-check internal affairs investigations to make sure officers are held accountable. That person has to be appointed within 2 months. The city has 4 years to get all of the reforms in place. Millions of dollars a year, that's how much the reforms will cost. The mayor thinks the city can find the money in the budget. City Council President Ken Sanchez is not so sure.
I think it's going to be a financial challenge for the city of Albuquerque. You know, there is really no place that we can cut. Employees have not received a pay raise in 4 years. This year, some of the employees did get that raise.
Sanchez says they may have to raise taxes like New Orleans and Seattle did when their departments were overhauled. The mayor says reforms will cost the city between $4 and $6 million a year for the next 5 to 6 years.
Mayor Barry says a big chunk of money will go towards paying officers overtime to undergo new training. All current officers will learn techniques to de-escalate situations and get new training on when it's okay to use force. When it comes to recruits, the department will implement a strategy to attract cadets, who are critical thinkers and emotionally mature. The new hires will also face tougher background checks, including history of using force if they come from another department. There's one area the feds say APD has not been forceful enough: how it polices itself. The agreement adds more checks and balances to make sure officers are doing things by the books. News 13's Gabrielle Burkhardt is live at APD headquarters with more. Gabby?
The feds came down on APD's internal affairs investigations, not holding officers accountable, letting bad shoots, bad cops, and misconduct slide.
Failed accountability systems, inadequate training, inadequate supervision, ineffective systems of investigation and adjudication.
Plans to change that include more oversight for investigations. The IA, which is made up of sergeants, a lieutenant, and commander, will still investigate use of force and misconduct. Now there will also be a force review board that will oversee IA and its cases. It's now up to the chief to assign officers who know how to conduct criminal and administrative investigations to the Bureau, and that could mean reassigning or hiring people. The feds also spell out plans for a stronger civilian police oversight to review citizen complaints, adding APD shall take an active role in generating broad community support and mutual respect by adopting greater transparency. A retired lieutenant who's worked with the IA says it's all about action.
We can have the policy, what we should do, what are the efforts going to be to make sure that it's being followed? Because we got here not because we didn't have policies, we got here because nobody was following them.
Now, even with these new changes, the chief will still have the final say on whether an officer should be disciplined. Back to you.
All right, Gabby, thank you. A major part of the DOJ agreement involves lapel and body cams. APD officers rarely turn them on before things get violent, and beyond a letter of reprimand, they have never been punished for it. The feds want to change that, fail to turn on your camera, and face punishment up to firing. This is what the mayor had to say about it.
It's clear that we all share a mutual interest in public safety, in reform, accountability, transparency, public trust and accountability.
But will the public get to see the video captured by officers' lapel cameras? News 13 has been fighting for your right to see the video for more than a dozen violent APD incidents going all the way back to last fall. Despite open records laws that say APD must show us the video, they haven't. Earlier this month, we filed a lawsuit against APD to force them to hand over the video. We'll keep you posted. While the feds look to reform different parts of APD, there was one unit that was shut down altogether. News 13's Jeff Proctor is on special assignment with a look at the rope team and other specialized units.
The city has agreed to dismantle the Repeat Offender Project, a unit intended to serve investigative functions that had been allowed to become an unofficial tactical unit with special weapons.
The DOJ's new civil rights boss made it a point to announce the end of APD's troubled rope team during today's news conference. Designed to go after the most dangerous criminals, the rope team has earned a reputation as a renegade unit. Keith Sandy was on the rope team when he shot homeless camper James Boyd. Dominic Perez, the other shooter, was on the SWAT team. That squad is getting reined in. The feds slammed APD for overusing the SWAT team and escalating situations. Today's agreement forces APD to, quote, track and analyze the number of specialized tactical deployments, unquote. Symbolically, gutting the rope team and muzzling SWAT are huge steps toward accountability. But there are still concerns. The rope guys are staying in the Special Investigations Division office, far away from the APD command structure. And a lot of the former officers from those specialized units are now the brass in charge of fixing the department. At the forefront, the number 2 guy at APD, Bob Huntsman, who brought many controversial officers into those specialized squads.
The majority of the new command structure at APD are individuals who come from the old guard and some of the specialized squads that have either been dismantled today or significantly reined in by the agreement. Those are folks who are now entrusted with implementing changes to a culture that they helped create. How do you explain that, and do you expect it to work?
I do expect this to work, and we've got Chief Eden, who has come into the department from the outside. We've got Chief Huntsman, who has a lot of internal knowledge of the department, so I do have the confidence.
Jeff Proctor, KRQE News 13.
Reaction has been pouring in from the people who have pushed for all these changes.
That's going to be a process of 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, but that's what it takes. This is a unique opportunity for our community.
And families of people killed in controversial police shootings have been waiting for this day.
We're very happy that it is a court-enforced decree, and there will be federal oversight to ensure that all of the reforms that are on paper will in fact be enforced.
To read the 106-page consent decree and watch today's news conference in its entirety, go to KRQE.com.
It has now been 48 hours since Alexandra Greenwald's family saw her. The 10-year-old's parents put her to bed about this time on Wednesday night. When they woke up in the morning, she was gone. News 13's Tina Jensen is live in Rio Rancho with the very latest on the search. Tina?
Dean, search teams have stopped for the night, but they're getting ready to head back out here at 6 in the morning. Police and trained volunteers spent the day knocking on doors and stopping cars, asking if anyone knows where she is. Greenwell's family said it appears she changed out of her pajamas late Wednesday night, stuffed a set of clothes into a backpack, and took off through the back door.
Alexandra, we love you so much. You're not in trouble. Please come home. We miss you. Your grandma misses you.
At this point, they have no evidence she's been kidnapped, but they haven't ruled that out either. The police and FBI are asking the public to keep an eye out for any signs of her tonight.
As a lot of parents and children will be out trick-or-treating, or people will be out starting their weekends, just be on the lookout for it.
Tonight I spoke with Alexandra's mom. She was actually passing candy out to trick-or-treaters. She told me right now she's just trying to hold it together for her other 2 kids. Back to you.
All right, Tina, thank you. As Tina just mentioned, search crews will be back out tomorrow morning. They will be using tracking dogs and a helicopter in the search. A deadly crash for Virgin Galactic's spaceship during testing. At 10:16, why it could be really bad news for the New Mexico spaceport.
Then on special assignment at 10:17, is it a serial rapist in training? Matt Grubb shows you a frightening discovery in an old New Mexico church. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department has fired a deputy charged with murdering another deputy. Ty Chan hasn't shown up for work since Monday because he's in jail, accused of killing Deputy Jeremy Martin. Police say Chan shot Martin in a Las Cruces hotel after a drunken fight. Police have not said why the two had been fighting. Deputy Jeremy Martin's family held a private service tonight. A public memorial will be held tomorrow morning at 11 at Capitol High School in Santa Fe. Martin's body was escorted back to Santa Fe from Las Cruces Wednesday. Martin leaves behind a wife who is pregnant and 3 kids. You can watch live coverage of tomorrow's service on KRQE.com. A big setback today for Virgin Galactic and its flights to space from New Mexico Spaceport after one of its spaceships crashed in the middle of the Mojave Desert, killing a pilot.
Space is hard, and today was a tough day.
Virgin Galactic was doing a test flight when Spaceship Two came crashing down. One pilot died, the other is in serious condition after ejecting from the craft. Owner Sir Richard Branson will head to the crash site tomorrow. Spaceport America near TRC has been waiting for 3 years for Virgin Galactic to start flights to space, and now that wait could be much longer. Virgin Galactic planned to move its operations to the spaceport for its final round of test flights and then start commercial flights in 2015. The spaceport sits empty, and now it's not clear when operations will get off the ground.
It's an empty church on the open plains that attracts photographers, but what they found inside it was disturbing. A macabre, sexually charged trophy room. And we do want to warn you, this is not a story for kids. Matt Grubbs has the story on special assignment.
In the 1950s, Cuervo, New Mexico was a noted stop along Route 66. The railroad still rumbles through town. The interstate does too. But Cuervo is now mostly a ghost town. It's still a notable stop.
A lot of interesting stuff went on in these towns.
Its look and its location right off I-40
I just became fascinated.
drew John Mulhouse to Cuervo in the summer of 2013. He hasn't gone back since.
I've been in a lot of abandoned buildings, ghost towns, and I've never really seen anything like this.
We're about to show you what John Mulhouse saw. Again, this is disturbing material.
Come in and you see this.
As Mulhouse walked into the old Getty Baptist Church, he saw "Welcome to the Church of Fornication" splashed across the altar. And in a room to the side was a chilling collection of used women's underwear, claims about where it came from, and hardcore porn.
You know, what really did it is the juxtaposition of really feminine clothing, pink tank tops, panties, that kind of thing, juxtaposed with what was the current issue of Hustler.
Unnerving, gross, and with claims of incest and trading sex to get out of a ticket, potential evidence of a crime.
This immediately triggered a real sense of unease, like your safety could be at risk.
Mulhouse and his girlfriend got out, got home, and got in touch with state police. Then John got to work on the City of Dust Ghost Towns blog that he writes when he's not working his day job as a scientific researcher. He barely mentioned what he saw in the church, only warning people away.
I didn't want people that are coming to look at the photos and the history to suddenly be slammed with this.
But people looking to snap pictures of Route 66 ruins are a curious bunch, and John's warning wasn't enough to keep them all out of the church.
I get probably 3 emails a week, sometimes 3 a day.
One of them pointed him to Linda Scott.
Pretty much anywhere I find an old house, I just turn down and start shooting and, hope nobody starts shooting at me.
A professional photographer, Linda was exploring abandoned buildings at an I-40 exit 7 miles west of the church in Cuervo. It was just a few weeks after Mulhouse's find.
And I went into the house. I was just shocked to see what I saw there.
Linda was looking at the same display John Mulhouse saw.
T-shirts, underwear.
Moved and reconstructed, piece by piece, right down to a scarf slung through a pair of underwear that was hooked to a bra.
This place looked active, like someone is currently there and using it. I guess that's what scared me the most.
A sleeping bag lay at the bottom of the wall under the new display.
What kind of person would have to go out and then set up this, what we called a trophy room?
Creepy. Again, gross, but evidence of a crime?
I didn't see anything, and I looked pretty good.
Still, Linda and her friend,
the first thing she said is, "Let's get out of here,"
also told state police. John Mulhouse began to wonder, and then Linda too, what that move meant.
It's got to have some sort of resonance for him to want to take a bunch of old women's clothes and move them down the road to another place. And so that's a red flag in my mind.
Simple questions.
What does it mean and why?
Nagged at John for more than a year, until this week, when he saw the new location for the first time.
Sort of a, whatever you call it, a display or a trophy room or whatever.
Most of the clothes, all the underwear, are gone. The porn has been stolen or scattered to the wind. But the walls.
The narratives are much more in depth than I would have guessed from what I saw in the Getty.
Scrawled across the room is tale after tale of incest and worse.
So the ones around the corner start to have like some rape stuff come in.
As John Mulhouse was reading them for the first time, so too were State Police Captain Matt Broom and Lieutenant Herbert Hinders. While State Police did look at both locations after the initial reports, neither one looked like it did when John and Linda came across them. No report was filed.
The writings on the wall can be, kind of shock you a little bit. The other side of it is I have to throw in both my experience on the criminal side too, is looking at it going, it could be simple vandalism, or it could be something more.
The writings at the new house are dated. They have recurring characters. The names and the dates stop in February of this year.
Is there concern that this person has moved on and is doing something more, or has moved the clothing that was there?
That could be a possibility.
Captain Broom has started making calls, checking names, ages, family situations, but there are no answers. Not for him.
If we looking at it from a criminal aspect, we're on uphill battle.
Not for John.
Or is this some kind of an escalating situation where, down the road, just this kind of thing isn't going to be enough?
Not for Linda.
They go to the next step, and what that next step would be, that's what's scary about this. I don't know.
On special assignment, Matt Grubbs, KRQE News 13.
We have more on this story online, including a slideshow of our trip to Cuervo this week. You can view them and the story online. Just go to krqe.com.
All dressed up with places to go tonight. Little tykes were out across Albuquerque trick-or-treating. Little ghosts and witches around the country club area this evening. They couldn't have picked a better night. Mark, I can't remember a warmer Halloween here in Albuquerque, but it sounds like that is all going to be changing.
It is.
I love it.
Come on, look at that.
I think we have a winner.
We really do. Whoa. Who is that?
Ooh, that's
is that
scary.
Mr. Magoo?
How are you?
Looked a little bit like Mr. Magoo.
Creepy.
Look at that. All right. Yeah, we have big changes coming. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look right now, show you what's going on. Let's start with this. Yeah, you guys don't forget, tomorrow night,
I
before we
love
go to
this
bed.
time.
You like going back to standard
Because
time?
then you can sleep. You get an extra hour of sleep. I love
Jess,
it.
it's one day of payoff. And then we end up being dark at 5:30 at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I missed
It
the
didn't
light.
bother me.
Jess, did you think that one through?
I did.
I don't know.
I'm thinking of sleeping in.
I can understand that. Here's a look at what's going on. 59 degrees, winds out of the east at 5 miles an hour. Across the north, temperatures 40s and 50s. Down to the south, we're looking at the 40s and 50s as well, some 60s across the southwest. Showers pretty limited at this point. We thought they would be. We got a pretty good little storm through Gallup earlier. And now across the northern mountains, some spotty shower activity. But what we're really watching here is a storm system off the west coast that is headed in our direction over the next couple of days. So we start with your storm report. Storm is spinning off the west coast right now. Timing, we're going to go Sunday through Tuesday, although much debate amongst the models on what's really going to happen with this thing. High mountain snow, scattered valley showers will be possible during this time period, and much cooler temperatures. That's a guarantee. Bust potential, though, is high. Why is it so high? It's 60%. Why is there a 60% chance that we don't think this thing's going to turn out to be a real big deal? And I'll explain that in a second, but here's the overall setup. The chance for a couple showers tonight. Tomorrow, western sections will see scattered showers with that chance of a few showers heading here into central sections. Widespread, or at least more widespread, rain showers for the northern mountains going over to snow, and scattered showers here in the metro by the Sunday time frame. And even into Monday, we could see some more showers and some more mountain snow across the north here. But here's the deal as far as why we don't have great confidence in this storm, at least not yet. High pressure made its move. It's allowed moisture to come into the state today, touching off plenty of cloud cover and a couple of showers. So now our storm system heads in for tomorrow and into Sunday. As it does that, the chance of showers starts to increase. Here's the problem, though. All our weather models at this point are having trouble figuring out what this storm is going to do. One says, it'll just kind of slide right across the northern half of the state. It'll be gone by Monday and we're finished. Another one says, no. Going south of Arizona, it's going to draw in a little more moisture, sit there for a while. Then yet another one says, no, we're going to Mexico. So we got to wait and see what happens with this thing over the next couple of days. It'll take a little extra time to determine what's going on. But here's what you can take away from this. We're looking at a pretty good shot at showers in a isolated fashion tomorrow, and then scattered coming up for Saturday. In fact, here's how it looks at 3:52 tomorrow morning. And as you get out into tomorrow afternoon, again, not huge rain amounts here, but then you can see by Sunday evening, wider spread rain and snow across the northern mountains. And we'll have much more throughout the weekend here. Break it down for you as we work our way toward Monday and keep a close eye on this system. All right, we're looking at a pretty good shot at showers over the next 3 days or so across southern Colorado, with at least scattered showers and storms for tomorrow. 60s for the most part across the northwest, chance of showers here, and then that continues on Sunday as well. Across the southwest, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Winds out of the south, gusting as high as 35 miles an hour. Over to the southeast, partly sunny with some spot storms possible here. A little better chance for Monday and maybe Wednesday of next week. Across the northeast, partly cloudy and breezy. Southwest winds as high as 35. Chance of showers cranks up on Sunday. Northern mountains, we are looking at the possibility of snow Sunday night into Monday. We'll keep you posted on that as we get closer. East mountains, scattered showers here with temperatures in the 60s. Better shot at showers on Sunday. And here in the metro, we could grab an isolated storm tomorrow with comfortable temperatures, but our chance goes up a bit on Sunday and possibly next week as well.
All right. Sounds good, Mark. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Get KRQE News 13 on your smartphone. Go to krqe.com.
Up first with the Cleveland Storm trying to keep pace in District 168 with undefeated Rio Rancho. The Storms playing Cibola tonight, and we start in the first quarter. Jesse Nieto, give the man the ball because he's getting into the end zone, making it 7-0 Cleveland. He would follow with yet another touchdown as Cleveland wins big. 43-7 is the final. Extended highlights are on the way. New Mexico Football Friday has an 11 p.m. kickoff on Tu Casa. High school state soccer first round, boys Sandia and 8 seed playing a 9 in Rio Rancho. Winner advanced to the quarters. Kick from Dakota Marquez on the free kick. Rio Rancho, he would go wide, but it's the Matadors getting the win in the end. 2-1 is the final. They'll get Cibola in the quarters. After the Lobo football team wrap up with UNLV on the road tomorrow, the basketball team will play an exhibition against Western New Mexico. Lobo's point guard Colin Neal has put on about 20 pounds of muscle. He also has been working on slowing down offensively and that other side of the ball.
I just refocused myself on the defensive end in high school. I mean, I didn't guard as well as I could, and last year I felt like I needed to get stronger on the defensive side. So this year I just devoted myself to get better on the defensive side and guard as well as I can.
Game time tomorrow, 7 p.m. at the Pit. Timeout is called. More sports on the other side. For the 6th straight year, the Lobo men's and women's cross-country team teams sweep the Mountain West Championships. Lobos coach Joe Franklin also named Coach of the Year. NBA, Chicago and Cleveland, and Tony Snell, the leaner, he had 10 points in 22 minutes, but the Bulls fall 114-108 in overtime. Braun, 37 points for the winners.
Okay, thank you, man.
All right, quick look at your 7-day. Going to be an interesting weekend. Spot shower possible tomorrow. Scattered shower coming up for Sunday. By the way, when we say spot and scattered, better chance when you have scattered.
All right, thank you, Mark. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.